Hello once again. This problem requires us for white to checkmate in 4 moves, and white has to be particularly careful because as things stand, should white with his queen or with his bishop take this rook, then black will be stalemated. Equally though, as things stand, black has to be careful that should he take this queen, then its knight takes f2, checkmate. So the question that we need to ask ourselves here is, which is the correct piece to move on the key move, and then where do we put it? We can find the correct piece, but it may not necessarily be on the right square, and there is, I can tell you, only one square that you'll be able to execute the checkmate in 4 moves. So what I'm as good as doing here is I'm giving you a clue that you can eliminate everything other than the bishop, because if you move the knight out the way, then effectively he just takes the queen, king takes back, and black is in stalemate. If you move the king out the way, same, or you're providing him with a flight square, either way it's a loss, in the sense that you're not being able to do what you want to do, which is to checkmate in 4 moves. If you move the queen to f3, then of course you just take it back, and that would be impossible then to mate in 4 moves. If you move the pawns, the simple fact is, although you can get to the back rank here in 3 moves, when you try and check here, he can interpose his rook, which would extend it to 5 moves. And this, of course, you're already at 4 moves when you queen the pawn here, and he'd simply interpose again 5 moves. So none of that works. It has to be the bishop. The question is, where do we put it? Well, what we want to do is to arrive at a situation where white's queen is on the 3rd rank on the 3rd move. There was a clue there. And we need to relinquish our control with the bishop on the h2 to b8 diagonal, which means we need to move it along this diagonal. Yes, that's correct. So where do we put that bishop? If we put it anywhere other than on 1 square, and it can go to 5 squares, as you notice, then you can't deliver checkmate in 4 moves. So where do we put it? And why do we put it there? Well, the correct move, the key move, is bishop f8. Yes, we're giving up this bishop. This answers the question, do we need the bishop to deliver checkmate? Well, clearly we don't, because black can take it off. Now, of the legal moves that black has, should he move this rook along here, then it's queen g2 mate, of course, because the queen is no longer pinned. Should he go this way, then what we do is we play here. Of course, should the rook interpose, then it's queen g2 mate. So the king comes here, and then we have a choice. We can either take the rook off, force him back there, and then queen g2, or we can play here. This is a rather neat one, because he thinks he's getting out of the mating 4, but he isn't, because you play there, noting that his rook is pinned, and that's checkmate in 4 moves, which is rather neat. So that leaves us, as far as black is concerned, with only one way to go, and that's the original position. After here, he has to move down the F line. Now, of course, should he take the queen, then we just do that. He goes here, and then we backtrack from whence we came, and that is checkmate. So that, of course, is no good. So taking the queen is no good. Where else can he go? Right, we play bishop f8. We've tried along here, no good. Tried there, and taking. Of course, if he were to put here, then all that we'd need to do is to take it. He'd move to h2, and we'd deliver mate queen g2, so that's no good. So what he's banking on is that if white takes the rook, he'd be in stalemate. But what he's forgotten, of course, is that this bishop is no longer on this diagonal. Now, should he move to any of these three squares, there's no problem in white capturing, such as here, and getting back to the third rank, to here, third rank, here, third rank. And should he take the bishop off, this is why we needed to play bishop f8. There we go. We take off. Now, we're taking the rook. Black is not stalemated because the bishop is not on the board any longer, let alone controlling that square. And now you see it becomes clear that if we played the bishop this way, we would have blocked a3, because the next move is to come here. And now we play here. We don't make the mistake of playing here, which will be stalemate. Just think about that. We have to go here. We don't want to control h1. So what does black have? Well, he can only go here. And then we go there, and that is the end of this game. And this shows in exemplary fashion how to conduct strategy in order to make sure that you avoid stalemating your opponent. And what a wonderful problem it is. And thanks very much indeed for watching. Enjoy your chess, and bye for now.